Great question. How many volts does a high voltage amplifier produce, knowing that we could put in up to 440 volts as the input? Well, today I want to show you using some equipment here. That way we could discuss how a Class C amplifier works. And using this boost converter here with my 12 volt power supply, we'll get this up to 400 volts and see what the rail voltage is at. So let's look at the normal design here of a high voltage amp. It's a Class C, so we have the high voltage positive and negative coming in to the main rails. That's it. So that voltage, whatever you decide to put in here, is the voltage going to the IGBTs. In a normal 12 volt car amplifier, you have an entire section dedicated to taking the 12 volts and creating a higher voltage rail. These are at the same exact voltage that you're bringing in. So again, let's hook up a little boost converter and measure that. All right, so I have a Frankenstein set up here. So we have a little boost converter going from 13 volts. We're going to go to a little above 100 volts. I'll show that. Going into the amplifier, powering everything. iPad into the RCAs. That way I could play some music or frequency for the testing. The oscilloscope connected to the outputs, and then I have a speaker connected to the output so we can see that this actually works. So I'm going to turn this on. 105 volts. Play. This thing doesn't like it because it's tiny and it gets hot. So I'm going to turn it off for now. But this is just proof that this amplifier is indeed what we're measuring here. Alright, so we're going to switch to a 56 hertz tone. So let me start playing that. Let me turn it on again. Now we could see the output there on the O-scope. I have the gain set pretty low. And this gives us an idea of what we're working with. We're going to measure the maximum output voltage. To do that though, I want to disconnect the speaker. I don't want to blow my little speaker. Once again, let's turn it on. We're going to see the output without a speaker connected there. And I'm just going to increase the gain here right before clipping. Alright, so what we could see here is the amplifier is putting 112 volts out, about 112 volts in. And it's clipping, of course, because we've got this limited. So this proves that this amplifier, the maximum voltage it will put out is the voltage that you put into it. So because we could take in a 440 volts in, that means it will put out up to 440 volts. Right, sorry, I did my best to increase the voltage there. Just not liking it. This thing's just not powerful enough. But again, we have 13 volts going to the boost converter, 87 volts out. And when I increase the gain here on the amplifier, the O-scope sees the AC output signal. We'll see that we're going to match that 85 going in, and then of course we start getting clipping on the signal because of that. Hopefully this answers the question that these things will put out whatever you put in voltage wise.